the following presentation of the National Football League.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada, where the memorial torch honoring legendary owner Al Davis has just been lit, and we are set for football at Allegiant Stadium. Today, boy, what a matchup. Two NFL franchises with so much history, so much tradition, game set to do battle here. As it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And off we go from Las Vegas. And able to take it past the 25 and to the 28-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And trotting out there leading them is their fourth-year quarterback.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
That is caught. Downfield is Pearson. And all the way down to the 10-yard line. A big play there on the first play of the game. 61 yards.
49er first down.
What my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Second down and 8. In motion goes the tight end. Another run with McCaffrey on second down. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Purdy from the gun on third down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. The Raider defense strong on that one in coverage, and now it's fourth.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game, watching him try to take away that area of the field.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. This will be spotted at the 20, so it's a 30-yard attempt. And his kick is good. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. And this is going to be roughing the kicker, an inexcusable penalty, Charles.
You've worked so hard to hold him to a three-point kick. Now you're giving him the ball again with a chance for a touchdown.
McCaffrey following the penalty. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Hopefully we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal. Play action. Now Purdy. This is caught. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, and now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. The Raider defense strong on that one in coverage, and now it's 4th. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had the play call on 4th and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And on the opening drive of the ball game, the defense comes up with a goal line stand. So the Raiders backed up here to begin their first drive. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
And how about Geno Smith? The number of times we've looked at his career and said, here's something new for him. And that's exactly what we're talking about with his move to Las Vegas after 5 seasons in Seattle. Over 70% last season completion percentage. And the Raiders, they definitely need that.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away, because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Purdy going to give it to Garindo. That's about as exciting of a 1-yard run as you're going to see. Finding a way to dodge that first would-be tackler. But again, just 1 yard out of it.
That felt like a trap, because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Purdy. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. On the toss, they run wide side with McCaffrey. Brought down, but after we saw a flashy little move, stopped short of the 40. The tackle made by Landon Roberts.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that, because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39.
Well, when you go from 2nd to 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Purdy. That is caught. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Well, they were in in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he is going to lose yardage here. And we're going to stop play here, at least momentarily. It looks like there is a 49er who's in some discomfort. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. Out of the gun, Purdy. Looking for the out route. He's got it. Complete to Kittle. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. George Kittle from 19 yards away. And the Niners add 6 to their lead. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bullying his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
And now it's blocked. "21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. PAT, they're set to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense.
Look around the club, what do I say? Everybody rocking side to side to the beat. They snapping, ain't fake, drink, bouncing to the groove. All by
now a play fake, and it's Smith. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Michael Williams in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Now Geno. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. There goes a gain of 4. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
Brings up 3rd and 10.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Throwing now is Geno. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Diablo Lenore.
And I think this is a situation where a quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Purdy. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Purdy now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And a 49er first down.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
A handoff, McCaffrey running right. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
2nd and 10. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 1 quarter down, 8-0 the score. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Purdy now to throw off the play action. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. In this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And now a fake on the jet sweep, and instead they'll give it to McCaffrey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Purdy looking to throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Jermaine Pratt fighting in and dropping him for the loss.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. A beautiful fake. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Looking to put a drive together. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
On first down, it's Genty. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
2nd and 7. A shotgun snap for Smith. That's caught by Tucker. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
That's a gain of 5.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And 3rd and 1 now. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Out of the gun, Smith. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 17-yard line. Defense was thinking run, and they're dealt a pass of just under 20 yards.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. Oh, this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they've run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Just a gain of a couple there. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Gino now to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
4th down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. A 33-yarder from the left hash. The kick by Carlson is good. And they get rid of the goose egg, but still trailing by 8. It's 11-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point of drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
After the main field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 24. And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Purdy from the gun. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That'll give him 8 that time. And now it's 3rd and 4.
Gain of 8 yards. And it's 3rd down.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. And throwing here, Purdy. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Here's 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. They'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
Brandon, that's what you call being manhandled at the point of attack, and I know the offensive line gets a lot of blame for that one, but occasionally the defense just knows what you're going to do. Maybe they scouted it perfectly, maybe someone tipped it off, but on that play, it had no chance.
Motion to the left with Jennings. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Shedding the tackle, and it gives him some room. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 22-yard line. It was 3rd and short, and they go flying past the marker for a gain of nearly 30 yards.
A waste of time.
Good strong throw and catch right there, and so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all. As we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
At the 22-yard line.
Back to throw, Purdy. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
And they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Shotgun now with Purdy. Did he get the feed down? Yes! Touchdown. From 17 yards out. And the 49ers go up by 2 touchdowns. And he just did get those feet in there on the side of the end zone. Well done.
Probably the exact size foot necessary, because I think if he had another half size, that catch doesn't count. And he's able to get it in, and it counts for a touchdown.
Extra point try now for Moody. And he atones for his miss the first time around, as this one is up and good to extend their lead. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. So after the big field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
To throw is Smith. Over the middle, he's got Myers. He'll be dropped at the 30. The first broken tackle was there, but couldn't bust free.
4 yards.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's second down.
30-yard line.
Here's Smith. Gets by him, and now a little daylight. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
And a nice gain and a burn along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Smith. That is caught. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49.
You're going, sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's Smith. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And they do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down. So halftime here out west, let's go east. That's where we find Scott Hansen with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the third quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the changes coming out of the locker room.
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it, start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They've not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. His throw incomplete.
That's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. And he's able to knock that one away.
And 12 yards to go.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw, O'Connell. And that will be incomplete.
Well, they have any designs of getting back into this football game in the second half. They're going to need to be much sharper offensively than they were on this opening possession. Not much happening here, and it'll lead to a 4th down.
Here's A.J. Cole now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Fielded at the 33. A good head-down running on the return. Gets about 15 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. Throwing, Jones. He's got his big tight end, Farrell, complete. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A gain of 32 that time.
And the 49ers first down.
Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
Here's Guerrero on 1st down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Now Jones. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great...
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Patrick Taylor, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Niners have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
And maybe that's the magic touch right there. They didn't use him at all in the first half, at least running the football. But here they entrust him with some work down in the red zone, and he responds. 1 carry, 1 touchdown.
Now Moody for the PAT. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. All right, Scott, thanks very much. And we welcome all of you back here on EA Sports for quarter number 3. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And not much happening on the return as they get this to about the 23. Now the Vegas offense heading back out there. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
Makes it 2nd and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Now a 2nd and 10. To throw here, O'Connell. Now he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And O'Connell now to throw. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. It'll go in the books as a sack and a loss of a yard. But more importantly, it leads to 4th down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
2nd down and 4. They'll try the middle with Garindo. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Fielded just inside the 30. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Raiders now set to get the football back. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he's brought down. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
And the Las Vegas first down. First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's O'Connell looking to throw it. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And now throw incomplete. Pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on 1st down, and a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
In motion, Dorsett. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Left side, it's Dorsett. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to make it 4th down.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Vegas. And they won't get a chance to bring this one back. It goes out of bounds, back near their own 20. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Looking to put a drive together. They go play action here on 1st down. Man open is Robinson. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
Everything's been going right here in this one. This offense, they've been in complete control from the outset. And here's another big play. These kind of routes have been open all game long, and they continue to take advantage.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. He couldn't get rid of it. He winds up losing a yard. It's 2nd down. Third quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, Jones. And that's incomplete.
What a sequence there defensively. You get the sack to move him to 3rd and long. Then here, just nothing available. And he's got to throw it away.
10 yards to go.
So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Operating from the gun, Jones. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 27-yard line. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Handoff here, Guendo. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
Jones now operating from the gun. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Jalen Smith gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Hadn't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. And the throw there going to be incomplete. It was the linebacker, Devin White, there to knock it away.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw and coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
6-yard attempt.
And this one is no good. He missed it.
And that'll keep this a 22-point game.
And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one for 56 yards, you know everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the back part of the ball just right, it's unlikely to go through. And that one winds up no good.
Looking to put a drive together. He'll look to Mostert to start things out. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. In motion, Dorsett. Now O'Connell. He'll get that out to the flat to White. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's O'Connell. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have the Raiders first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Throwing, O'Connell. Short throw to the tight end, Thomas. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
We'll put that one in the win column for the defense. Trying to contain tight ends in the passing game is so difficult nowadays, but they did in a big way there.
Now it's O'Connell. He's got Thomas yet again complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 29-yard line. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. Boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
From the 20, here's 2nd and a yard. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he'll get it down this time to 17. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Back to throw. O'Connell. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
To throw again on 2nd down. O'Connell. And this throw incomplete. And the field all over that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Out of the shotgun, here's O'Connell. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll go for it. O'Connell. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone. We're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
They begin on the ground with Guerrero. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. The run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, you're trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
It'll be a gain of just a yard, and 3rd and 8 now.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He completes this to Russell Gage. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Well, trailing here in the 4th quarter, and that personal foul, that only adds to the hole that they're currently standing in.
Yeah, absolutely a bad job of just losing your cool and letting your anger take over. Mistakes like that, not going to help you at this stage of the game.
On the give, it's Garindo. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Well, he can be a load to handle off the edge, and he can do it against the pass. Sure, he can do it against the run like he did there.
And you mentioned a load. How about having to adjust to his speed as well? Because not only does he bring some pop, he brings some dash as well. A nice play in that situation.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. So 8 yards on the completion there. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and short to give it a tight end. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now it's Garindo. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Running straight ahead, Taylor. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now Jones from the gun on 3rd down. And the Raiders have got it. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Thomas Morstead now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. Looking to put a drive together. Throwing to start the drive. O'Connell. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up, but we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the first down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking him.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest game we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for third down. Looking to throw. O'Connell. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it'll be fourth down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Niners take over in terrific field position. The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. Well, CD, this is the ideal situation in the fourth quarter. You come out here late, not much time on the clock with a comfortable lead, and put the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this offense, all game long, they've been powerful, they've been dangerous. You're exactly right. They can end this one on their own terms.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.